Yeah, but Anthony, you have to wear the big ass helmet he has on.
Yeah. Emily, this is a non-traditional wedding. Emily isn't going to have a veil, and you're going to have a giant cerebro.
Yeah, that's what we need.
So she has to take the helmet off.
That's the reveal. That's awesome. You're getting revealed.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, we don't adhere to gender norms on Comics and Chronic.
Yeah, this is 2022.
Yeah, we're not lifting veils. We're lifting Cerebro helmets.
What's up, boys?
What's going on?
What up, posers?
Just got off of work, dude.
Yeah, we know, Cody.
Dude, hell yeah, boys. I'm so glad to see y'all.
I know.
It's good to see you too, man.
We're coming on a year, Cody. You should have better mic work by now.
Yeah, well, eat shit, Jake.
You take criticism so terribly.
Dude, I am... Yeah, you're right. I'm a sensitive boy.
No, it's all good. We love you.
We know that. Aren't we all sensitive boys?
Dude, we are
sensitive. That the original name of the podcast?
We're not just sensitive boys. We're island boys. Because I'm an island boy. Dude, and you know who else?
Island boys.
I was gonna say. That's true.
Damn,
you know who else were Island Boys was the fucking X-Men.
The fucking X-Men.
Krakoa.
But wait.
Yeah, we gotta. Before that comes up,
right,
Anthony has some news he needs.
Oh,
to share.
yeah. What is going on? All kinds of shit's going down.
All kinds of shit's going down.
Let me hear, buddy.
All right. So as you guys know, or the listeners may not know, no, they don't know. I've never talked about this. So I'm getting married in September, right?
Yeah.
So you know, every groom needs some groomsmen. And I wanted to ask you guys to be part of that group. I wanted you guys to be groomsmen.
Yo!
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, baby!
Dude, I'm super down for that.
Dude,
Hell yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
Nice.
I'll definitely, whatever you need, dude, this bachelor party is going to be...
Yeah, right.
What?
You don't want to have a bachelor party with Cody. He'll get you unmarried real quick.
No,
He'll ruin that with.
No, why would I do that?
Yeah, why would Cody do that?
Not intentionally, just
Cody loves love. He loves love. Why would he ruin that for me? Don't ruin that for me, Cody.
I'm not gonna ruin it, bro.
I definitely don't.
We made the ranks of groomsmen.
Oh yes. Shit!
To me, my groomsmen.
That's crazy. What brought this on?
Hell yeah.
What do you mean? What brought this on? You guys, I've known you guys for over a decade. Yeah, over a decade. Well, I guess a decade. Yeah, you know, and then. You know, we definitely I think we got closer again by doing this podcast. And, you know, this podcast is legitimately like one of the coolest and best things I've done in a while or ever. Like it's just, and it's lasted so long, you know, like I just, you know, you guys are the, I don't know what to say. You guys are the guys. And I definitely need you on my squad.
Unlike Jake, I don't question our friendship.
Thank you, Cody.
Oh, no, dude, I just keeps it 100 because you got a pretty close-knit, tight group of dudes is what I would think, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. But you guys are part of that group for me, like 100%.
It's dude, much appreciated.
Kiss you on the lips. I promise you that.
Oh no, please don't. I don't want that.
It's gonna happen.
I don't know where your lips have been, Cody. I don't want them anywhere.
We actually do know where your lips have been, and we've heard about the results of it. We don't want that.
I'm hygienic.
What?
Sanitizer can't fix. You know?
All right, I'll have some on hand. I'll rub it on my lips right after.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Hell yeah.
It's really nice over there. Like, it's going to be an outdoor wedding too, by the way. So it's going to be early September.
So what you're saying is I'm stealing a golf cart that night.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Dude, we should record a live episode from your wedding.
Oh, boy.
And make all your guests listen to it live.
For their first dance, the couple will
the first
dance.
They're actually going to record a podcast episode. People are like, what the fuck is going on here?
This is an unorthodox wedding.
Dude, yeah, okay, live from Anthony's wedding. Oh, man. Well, that'll be sick.
Start passing out joints to everybody.
Dude, what's the date for this?
September 17th.
Of this year?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah, though.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'll be sending shit out and, like, you know, more officially, you know, being like, you guys are groomsmen, but this is my official statement to you guys.
Yeah,
now everyone knows. Now you guys know.
What a dope announcement.
Okay, wait. Are you going to have a bachelor party?
Yeah, most likely.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Maybe not the kind you're thinking, but a party nonetheless.
Dude, you should come out here to Vegas. You should come out to Vegas.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I've been to Vegas once, but only like as travel for work and not like to enjoy it in any way.
I just got back from Vegas yesterday.
Oh yeah, you did.
It was awesome, honestly. Like, fucking really fun. Met up with my brother.
Do you like to gamble? Like, do you have a game of choice?
I did do gambling. I played a lot of roulette. Dude, I will say this is the most, I always give myself like a specific allotted amount of money to gamble because I'm not really a big gambler. I'm not like someone who has to like keep chasing it. Like, yeah, man. So I was like, all right, I'll give myself 300 to start with. And dude, I ended up playing a roulette table completely for like 10 hours. Didn't realize it. Looked down on my cell phone. It's 6:30 a.m. I started at like 11 p.m. And I was like, whoa. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm not on drugs or anything. I'm just maybe drunk and high, but that's it, you know?
You were in the flow state.
Dude, I was in the flow of gambling. Yeah. It was a lot of fun, man.
Nice.
Do you think you're good at gambling, Jake?
No, not at all.
I'm really bad.
I don't play anything with cards or numbers because I can't count and I'm not good at math, but like I played roulette, and in roulette you could bet either like red or black, which is the most generic shit you can do on that table. So like I'd be like, all right, I'll just do it, and dude, managed to build up some money. It was pretty sweet.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
But then I have another story that I for sure can't tell on the podcast.
Maybe later we'll hear that one.
Yeah, we'll hear that one later.
After hours.
At the After Hours podcast. Oh, we should do one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Comics and Chronic After Dark.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, dude.
It's when the truth comes out.
You know who also is constantly gambling? The X-Men.
Yes.
Xavier.
Yes, that's true. Actually, in many ways, you're right. Oh, you had the actual action figure.
Yes, I do have Professor X.
I liked how this Xavier looked.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we even get into this, I need some catch up because the last thing I was a part of was the last X-Men shit that I read was Avengers versus X-Men and like the Uncanny X-Force leading up to it and all that stuff. What happened? How did Charles come back to life? What's the deal with Jean Grey being alive again?
What's the deal with Jean Grey?
What is the deal with all of these X-Men?
I need some fill-in.
So House of X, Powers of 10. It's going to be annoying to say Powers of 10. I'm going to eventually keep saying
Just
Powers
say
of
Powers
X.
of X, yeah. Who cares?
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be Powers of 10?
Yeah, because of the way the story is like showing you. Yeah, like it's showing you like the future, the very far future, and it's like X squared, X cubed, or whatever.
Gotcha.
So this story is good as a jumping on point for if you've read a little bit of X-Men, if you've like watched the animated series, or I kind of think if you've never read X-Men, it's going to be a little bit hard to just jump into this book.
Oh, it's going to be hard as hell.
Yeah, this would be a hard one. This is not like Long Halloween or Hush where you can just get the essence of.
Right.
Yeah, this is not a good introductory story.
Not at all.
I loved this story, but it was at first, for like the first 6-7 issues, it's a little hard to follow.
Yeah, I mean, even as someone who's like a big, I'd argue that maybe other than Anthony, I love X-Men are one of my favorite comic book things. They've always been like had the biggest impact on me. I always like loved those characters out of comic books the most as a kid. So, but even for me, it was hard, like kind of getting into the groove of like understanding the book.
Well, here, why don't we intro the book?
All right. But before I say that, so before I even talk about the book, you had a lot of questions, Cody. Why is Professor X alive?
Why is he walking? That's what I wanted to know.
Why is he walking?
Why is he walking? Why is
Gray alive?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is all stuff that happened in continuity, and you could read about that, right? But I could sit here and explain that, but honestly, it doesn't even matter for what happens in this story. And I'm not going to say it doesn't matter going forward because it's history. And a big part of this book is X-Men history. Like, in fact, what's so cool about it is like every era of X-Men, like every timeline, like Days of Future Past or even Age of Apocalypse counts because of what's happening in this story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we could talk about that even later. Like, but what I'm trying to say is like continuity that specifically doesn't really matter for this story. So let's forget about it for a second. So okay. Professor X is.
Hey Anthony, before you even get into this, you want to give us an intro, my guy?
All right. So welcome to Comics and Chronic, everybody. This is going to be our first X-Men episode. We're finally talking about X-Men.
Finally.
I'm Anthony Iannaccio, and joining me are my newly announced groomsmen, Cody Cannon and Jake FH.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Can we dress as X-Men when we're your groomsmen? Kind of like the Cyclops eyes and shit.
Even if I said hell yeah, I don't know if Emily's going to be down for something that nerdy.
I'll just sneak it on from the
Cyclops,
picture.
Jake?
Yeah, I'll do Cyclops because I want to wear that.
I'll grow out my sides and cut it into chops and be Wolverine.
Okay, nice.
I like that.
Okay. I guess I'm just Professor X. Like,
yeah, but Anthony, you have to wear the big ass helmet he has on.
Yeah.
Emily, this is a non-traditional wedding. Emily isn't going to have a veil, and you're going to have a giant cerebro.
Yeah, that's what we need.
So she has to take the helmet off.
That's the reveal. That's awesome. You're getting revealed. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, we don't adhere to gender norms on Comics and Chronic.
Yeah, this is 2022.
Yeah, we're not lifting veils. We're lifting Cerebro helmets.
Oh,
awesome. Hell yeah. All right. So House of X, Powers of 10, or it's Powers of X, whatever. It's 12 issues, and the issues kind of alternate back and forth. What's happening in House of X, basically, actually, I don't remember because as one story, it makes more sense anyway. Yeah. In the present, Professor X and Magneto have decided that mutants, they're done taking people's bullshit. Like we're not doing this anymore. Like we're gonna create our own nation on the island of Krakoa, and mutants are gonna live here. They're gonna have their own political system, their own economy. Like they're separate. They don't have to ever interact with humans except to do trade and offer them trade and medicine. And at the end of the day, they'll finally have their own place to be mutants and not have people fucking with them. Obviously, that's not ever going to be the case for mutants. Like, their lives are always going to be in danger. But there's way more to the story. Like, that doesn't just happen. There's Moira, who's a character you might have seen. McTaggart, yeah, she's famous in the comics. I mean, as being like Professor X's like former flame,
also,
right? Yeah.
When I was reading it, this is the first iteration I've ever seen where she's a mutant. I didn't know that was a thing.
Same.
That's a huge revelation for this.
I was like, oh snap, my boo, Moira's out here being mutant, and a pretty cool mutant ability too.
Yeah. So, which is kind of like the gimmick for the book, right? Like Moira discovers that when she dies, she gets reborn and has all previous memories of her past life.
Yeah.
She remembers everything that
she has
happened.
a finite amount of lives that she can live.
Right. Which she doesn't know at first.
That's true, yeah.
But for the point of the book, after one life, and she realizes this, like, you get to see the different paths she takes. Like, she tries different things. Like, she wants to, at one point, maybe she tries to stop mutants. At one point, she's trying to help mutants. But the whole point being, like, mutants can never, they always seem to, like, in the end, fail. Whatever Professor X does or any other Apocalypse or Magneto, they always seem to fail.
They fail. And humans out here being dominant,
Even more than humans, we got Nimrod. He's
the
like
machine.
He's like the best Sentinel you could have. Like, he's just super smart Sentinel. Creepy.
Also, not his first appearance in the comics.
No, not at all. Nimrod's definitely a character that's has some history with the X-Men, for sure.
Yeah.
Basically, is like super smart killer AI.
Yeah, he's like a Terminator type villain that constantly comes from the future.
Is he in Marvel vs. Capcom 2? No,
he might be.
I don't think he is. Shit. Well, anyway, this is my first time ever seeing Nimrod, and I thought he was cool as fuck.
Yeah, he's cool. He's got cool colors.
Yeah. That pink and that white.
Yes, let's talk. We didn't even say this book is by Jonathan Hickman, great writer. The art is great though. It's R.B. Silva and Pepe Larraz, and I love the character design. So I'm gonna be a nerd. I'm gonna pull a Jake. Jake is the only guy that's pulled out figures, but these are like I ever rarely buy figures, but I had to get the character designs from this comic: Magneto and Professor X, and Cyclops and Marvel Girl Jean Grey.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I just love that squad.
I like Magneto's white costume. It looks pimp.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone's character design was cool as hell.
Yeah, Cyclops looked beast too.
Yeah, Cyclops was cool. Fucking I loved Apocalypse.
Yes.
Dude, I just like, sorry, I feel like we're jumping all over, but I can't contain my excitement because I'll be honest. I didn't think I was A, gonna like this. B, while reading it, it took me a while to get took me multiple issues to get into it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then, but I did like Charles Xavier kind of stopped being a bitch for once, joined Magneto. Like, he made reasonable compromises with Magneto. Even Magneto himself was like, damn, like, we can do this. Yeah. I love how it ends with the two of them looking up and like they're finally like a team and they are like working towards like a common goal. And it is more like, dude, I even like, there's a scene when they're trying to detach the mother forge so they can push into the sun.
Yeah.
And Cyclops says to somebody, he's like, no, like, we can't stop. You guys will always kill us. Like, I feel like a lot of people in this comic took more to Magneto's side finally.
Oh yeah, Cyclops, there's that really great panel where Cyclops and Professor X and Magneto are telling Scott, like, you're going to lead this mission. You know, you might not come back alive. And, like, you know what you need to do. And, like, in his visor, you see in one side of the visor, it's Professor X. And one side of the visor is Magneto. And it's just, like, Cyclops right in the middle. Like, and that's why I really love Cyclops. Like, I think he's not, like, a lot of people think he's more of a Boy Scout, but he really is kind of, like, pushing towards Magneto's philosophy and more
also, especially in recent years, Cyclops has at times even been a foil almost.
Yeah,
like almost like a anti-hero, you know?
Yeah.
Cyclops, I feel like people who think of Cyclops as the Boy Scout only really they just don't know X-Men. You know what I mean? They haven't taken the time to look at past past maybe like the 90s cartoon or the 2000s movies.
Yeah, because there's especially a moment early on in the comic where the Fantastic Four is like, they stop like Sabretooth and Scott comes to take him away, and the Fantastic Four is like, no, like, what are you going to do with him? He's like, don't worry, like, we'll take care of this, we're mutants. And they have like this standoff, but like, it really shows Cyclops being like a badass. Like, he doesn't. It's the Fantastic Four.
He'll answer to mutant law, not your laws.
Yeah.
What did you think of that? What do you think of mutant law? What they did to Sabretooth?
I fucking thought it was sick.
I thought it was crazy. I would have let Sabretooth go, honestly, but
really,
yeah,
Sabretooth's a madman
because these laws weren't made until after Sabretooth did what he did.
Yeah, but also Magneto gave him specific saying under no circumstances.
I agree, but that was before the finding of Krakoa as a mutant nation. So I feel like he shouldn't be judged. He shouldn't have been judged to laws that were literally just made in that room 5 minutes before they brought him in.
I get that. And that's what's really cool about Krakoa too. Like right away, from the council that they create, and we'll talk about that, it's not necessarily fair or just. It's just what they can make. And they all acknowledge it's not perfect.
No, it's honestly a council of almost entirely villains.
Right. Okay, so that's one of the coolest things about this. In the X-Men universe, there's plenty of evil mutants, but in this book, Professor X and Magneto are like, "Look, you're mutants, but we're making a home for mutants. So we're going to start fresh." And here's the thing about starting fresh too on Krakoa. You could literally be reborn.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, it was really cool, but it just only perpetuates the lack of stakes in comic books. You know what I mean? Like, I was already, because the last I saw was the big, huge deal death of Charles Xavier. And yeah, I haven't been keeping up with continuity or whatever, but you know what I mean? I just wish there were more stakes. Like, we love these characters, but it's okay to let go sometimes.
I agree with that, but I did like a lot that they did it because of the fact that they get killed pretty much really easily.
Yeah.
And like a lot. And so they do, like, it's almost like they acknowledge like it's a Holocaust every time out there. It's to the point where like they'll never, without this like artificial growing program, they'll never be able to keep up with human population.
Yeah, you're completely correct, because you got to think about thinking about things like Genosha.
So it's like, I agree with the low stakes, but it's also like these are the extreme measures that like Xavier needs to go to ensure that the mutant race like survives.
Right.
Yeah. No, you're right, because the whole thing it's talking about Genosha, House of M. You know, all of these.
There's part of the story where Charles and Eric talk, and Charles says that they both failed. Charles failed trying to achieve his dream, and Eric failed trying to achieve his dream, and that like they actually do need to work together, just like to put like their vision of what's good for mutants and just be like what's good for mutants, just without their perspective. And it's cool that like that's why they got this council together of like villains, but ultimately like mutants. And you know what? Like they're all mutants who like even if they're villains, they care for their people in like an extreme manner.
Yeah, like Apocalypse isn't. Yeah,
Apocalypse is kind of a monster.
He is.
Sebastian Shaw, kind of a monster.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, I had also forgotten that they had made Mr. Sinister who he is now in the comics.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was so like crazy and wacky and shit.
Yeah, and this is definitely more of like a new Mr. Sinister going in that direction, which is awesome. Like he is always insane, but that's like Hickman's spin on Mr. Sinister, because at that point, you're supposed to think. I think they explain it in the story like that Mr. Sinister, like you see Mr. Sinister, but then he gets murdered by another clone of him.
Yeah.
So that's like that iteration of him. You get what I'm saying? Like it's like your first time seeing that version, but it's like with Mr. Sinister, it's just like he always has clones of himself, and he's always trying to like. It's crazy that he's on the team at all but he's such a big part of what they do. Like he collects all mutant DNA for Xavier and Magneto, and that's how they could use Cerebro to
back everybody up.
Yeah, everybody up and then bring them back if they need a new body. I just like that. I just love the whole process of them having to have those 5 mutants.
Yeah, that was
to bring back like a husk of a person.
Yeah, who was it? It was Cypher.
Hope. This guy.
What's his name with the golden egg?
Yeah, so this guy's name is Gold Balls.
Cold balls.
That's insane.
So like in like he's a newer X-Men, right? And he's like this. I like him, but he's such a stupid character. Where his powers, he literally like could like spit out like gold balls, and like maybe they hit you in the face, but they're just like gold balls, and that's it. Like that was his character. But in this one, they're like, no, the gold balls by themselves are just like nothing. But when you combine them with these mutants' powers, you could bring life to
their
the world.
eggs.
Like, what?
Yeah. That's insane.
They're eggs.
Dude,
yeah,
that's how
non-viable
mutants
eggs.
do.
There you go. That's what they call them.
Yeah, mutants. That's how mutants are.
Crazy.
Man.
That's why I love Jonathan Hickman. Like he has cool sci-fi shit like that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They leaned into the sci-fi in this, especially with all like the future shit, like getting the archives from Nimrod's database so they can find a way to defeat him?
Yeah, so that's what's happening in the future. Nimrod is like on the verge of taking over, or at least at one part of the future. It even goes further into the future, but Nimrod is like their ultimate enemy. But there's like, I like the philosophy behind it, where it's just like there's man, and then the logical evolution of man is mutants, but the machines are like where the logical next step after that. So that's why you're like it puts the X-Men in a cool place where like they're there to the robots and shit how humans feel towards mutants, and there's always like this war that goes on even into the far future.
Yeah, it's crazy. The villains were all pretty cool, from the scientist, from Nimrod to what was her name, the one she's like was like part Sentinel part human.
The Omega Sentinel.
The Omega was cool.
Who was that?
And then
that the red one?
Yeah, she was just like so ruthless.
Yeah, she was cool.
And then the scientists on the mother mold.
Yep. They were willing to do anything.
I liked seeing the mutants that survived. It was cool to see the mutants that survived to the future, because it was not that many.
Yeah, like Wolverine. Yeah, of course he survives.
Wolverine, Magneto, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Who else?
So like there were also mutants in the future where their Sinister created them. They have like they're like chimeras of a bunch of mutants.
Chimeras.
Yeah, God, those guys were dope. What was one of them? Was like Priest?
Yeah, it was like a red Nightcrawler.
That was cool. That actually brings me to one of the criticisms of the book. Like, I get what it was going for, and it was cool with the whole like redacted notes on everything, like the Sentinels.
Oh yeah, that's a big part of the book. Yeah,
it's a huge part of the book. It was almost like I was kind of like I felt very forced to read it, and not like I ever wanted to actually read it.
Gotcha.
See, I was interested every time.
Yeah,
and I found it super helpful.
Yeah, it adds a lot to the story. It explains a lot.
It was helpful, but it was also just like I don't know. It felt like a glossary.
There was also the one that I liked the most was how it explained the Omega level mutants. And how I always heard the term, but I never fully understood what that meant, and it cleared it up for me. Like, it just means like you have like a power that just like has no peak. There's no like you could keep going with how strong you are, but it's not like if you're Jean Grey, it's not that you're like the best telepath. She just has like Omega level telekinetic powers.
Yeah,
and Magneto is just magnetism. It's not anything else. That's an obvious one, but it just made it more clear, and I was like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I like the glossaries a lot.
They said Magneto is an Omega level mutant.
Yeah. They also said Hope,
yeah.
Cypher, was he?
I don't know if he's Omega. He might be. I like Cypher a lot. So without Cypher, they can't talk to Krakoa, and Krakoa can't talk to them. Like, they have their own language.
Krakoa is basically the sentient island and ecosystem. Pretty much think Avatar, where you can communicate on a neurological level with the planet itself and the fauna and the flora, as well as each other. Like, if like Anthony's like in his house or Cody's in his house, like, yo guys, like telepathically, do you guys want to smoke blunts? And they're like, yeah, let's let's do it.
And so, like, if we were mutants living on Krakoa and we wanted to travel somewhere, there's like these Krakoan seeds that you plant, and there's a doorway, but only mutants could walk through the doorway. If humans try to walk through it, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, that was super cool, and I like that the humans. I liked when Emma Frost had to give the humans the tour of everything, but they didn't take them to actual Krakoa.
Right.
Yeah, and then at the end, they're like, "So what do you guys think?" And then, or Magneto says, "What are they thinking?" And then Emma tells how they really feel, and like some of them are like agents from their government or whatever.
Yeah,
that was cool as fuck. I like Emma Frost a lot in this comic. She's kind of a boss.
Yeah, dude. Well, she is a boss, man.
Yeah, she is a boss. Most of the time, she is.
She is, and in Old Man Logan, I always loved her little cameo in that. I don't know if you guys remember when they're driving through and they get to her territory.
I don't remember.
She was straight up in X-Men First Class.
Yeah, but
but she
was done disjustice.
Yeah,
like in first Injustice. You know what I'm saying? Disservice.
Dude, in Old Man Logan, it's like they're driving through everyone's territories and they get to her territory and it looks like a fucking utopia. And it's just like everyone's there's like water falls and she just like looks nice. And then she like turns it off for Wolverine and she's like super old and withered.
Oh, yeah.
Not her hot self. And like the place is actually a shithole. And so she uses her psychic powers to like make everyone that lives there thinks it's this nice place.
Yeah.
I always thought that was cool.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, I feel like that's the perfect transition to Cody's tweet from earlier.
What's that?
Yeah. Yes. So I tweeted earlier on behalf of the podcast when a lot of you guys were super into helping us answer that question. Which X-Men, which X person would be the most dangerous person to hook up with?
Yeah.
I want to hear your answers, and then we'll talk about a couple of guest or fan answers.
Yeah,
we're not going to answer right now because I have a few.
You answer first, and then we'll do the fans.
Oh well, Rogue, obviously, unless you wear a condom.
My answer is Rogue. Yeah.
Dude, I would just say also depending on like what Nightcrawler because. We don't know what kind of shit.
Bamf your dick away.
Bamf your dick away.
Oh.
Just like teleport, you know what I mean? Yeah.
What have I done?
Iceman also could give you like internal frostbite.
Damn. Yeah.
Or Iceman even external.
Or even external,
yeah. Iceman would be dangerous.
The Juggernaut for obvious reasons.
I feel like Sabretooth would straight up just be
Sabretooth would just murder you.
Really good answer.
I think
because he's brutal.
Yeah, I think Omega Red, because of his coils, would be a good sex robot.
Dude, I mean, the best one to bang for obvious reasons would be Mystique.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Mystique.
Just
Mystique,
because
you can do anything.
Yeah.
Wait, would you have sex with Mystique in her blue form?
Oh yeah. No.
Well, yeah, it's Mystique. Like you, and also I think she would be like super offended if you didn't at least.
Oh, she would be super offended if you didn't.
Yeah, snap your neck with her.
Yeah,
leg.
My life is on the line if I don't say, "Oh yeah, blue form."
Oh, I love that blue form. Yeah, I would do it. I wouldn't care. She's hot.
Yeah, I would prefer it.
Yeah, perfection. I said the real Mystique.
Honestly, one of the. I mean, obviously, Rogue is an obvious one.
Rogue's the super obvious choice.
I think just because of how insanely powerful he is, Charles Xavier would be for one, all I'm saying is that man's got too much power. What if you break his heart? You know what I mean?
But Charles Xavier's not a bad person. He's not going to like rape your mind because you hurt him.
But you don't know that.
Yeah, dude.
Shit, this is
we're talking about a Charles Xavier who never had his heart broken. You know what I mean?
God, you think he's that fucked up?
Well, in that case, what about his sister, Cassandra Nova? You know her?
I don't know anything about her.
I don't know anything about her.
So in Grant Morrison's X-Men run...
Oh, I actually do remember now.
It's Xavier's... He has a twin sister who like, he forgot about or something. I don't remember. And she's like a psychic parasite.
Grant Morrison's weird, dude.
Yeah. And she's really fucked up. Yeah, she's a good answer, too. That's... To your Professor Xavier, that is the one that would really be like, what?
Yeah.
I will mind murder you.
Yeah.
Mind murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's literally a panel in that comic where you see baby Xavier fighting baby Cassandra Nova in the womb and like he punches her or she punches him. Jesus. It's like two fetuses with umbilical cords like punching each other in the face.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude, you know how Grant Morrison be being insane? Dude, that was such a good run of X-Men, though.
Yeah, new X-Men. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Dude, it was super cool that Moira was a super badass, unkillable, and that she got harder every time.
Yeah, like, she was a hardened. She was like a hardened mutant fucking activist by the end of it.
Yeah.
Actually, if you truly think about it, what I was just about to say, They were all mutant supremacists. Charles Xavier, in his giant speech to the world, admits that one day they will inherit the Earth, but they're not going to actively kill off humans. But like their time is coming, and like for now, this is what it's going to start with: is this little mutant island, and that will give you medicine in exchange for your.
Right. So I guess another big point of the island also, and going back to like them rebirthing everyone, it's because of like what you said, Cody, Genosha and House of M and stuff like that. There's not a lot of mutants. Like Genosha, there was a big, millions of mutants died because of an asteroid.
Million.
Yeah. And that was in Grant Morrison's run, actually. And then House of M, Wanda says no more mutants, and then there's only like 198 mutants left. And then when they come back, there's only like a few hundred or thousand or whatever left. And the whole point of them being on this island is to like bring everyone back and then repopulate and have more mutants but to basically not take over, but take over, right? Like
no, but he says they're going to inherit the Earth. Charles' like ideology changes to that of a mutant supremacist,
right? But going back to Moira being like so cold and everything, like basically she lived 1,000 years at least, you know, like she lived so many lifetimes of like hitting 70 years old. Like she's seen some shit.
By the end of Powers, when it's just her and Logan left.
Yeah, that was cool. And he kills her.
Logan has to kill her.
Yeah.
So she could wake up back knowing all the shit that happens in the future. I really like that.
Yeah, that was cool.
So from this story, what going forward is like the thread that you would want to follow? Because this set the groundwork for the next era of X-Men, and it's been out for a while. This came out in 2019. So
So what's been going on? Let me know.
I haven't read enough of it to really say. Like I kept up with the main.
No. I want to save it.
Yeah, I kept up with the main X-Men series, which, you know, they actually form a team of X-Men. So it's no longer that if you're a mutant, you're automatically an X-Men. Like they have specific teams now.
Yeah.
And there's more than just the X-Men. There's
there's Excalibur, I'm sure.
Yeah, Excalibur, X-Force, X-Factor.
Who's on the X-Force now?
Can't say. I honestly don't know.
Oh, it's okay.
Because I just didn't keep up with everything, you know. I want to see what happens, but I kept up with certain things. Like they came out with a series where it's Fantastic Four versus X-Men, and the whole idea is like their son is a mutant.
Yeah,
what's his name? Why can't I think of
Franklin Richards?
Franklin Richards, is a mutant, and like, you know, the X-Men are like, you could come live on Krakoa, and they're like, no, he's not living on Krakoa, and you know, he's staying with us, and he's like, but
so in this comic, he actually, in the scene where Cyclops takes Sabretooth from the Fantastic Four, he says, "Tell your son he always has a home if he wants."
Yeah, exactly.
Which I thought was badass. It's like, damn, like.
Yeah, so there's like a 4-issue miniseries that, you know, if you like that part, that's gonna answer the questions of what happens with that.
I mean, Krakoa is basically Israel, to be honest, is what I got from reading it. Like a mutant Israel.
Isn't that where the story starts?
What?
Aren't they in Israel at the beginning, or they're in like Jerusalem or something? Isn't that how the story? Isn't that literally where they are at the beginning? I thought they were.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
It's definitely in the book.
Yeah,
Jerusalem itself is. For
sure. So at some point they actually are there. So that's you know, that's probably what it is then.
Abraham Reisman would have creamed himself at that connection I just made. Shout out to.
Imagine he's like never. Yeah. Imagine he's like never listens.
Like, you know what? I think I'll listen to one episode of theirs. He listens to this one.
Turns this one up.
I don't give a shit.
Never listening again.
We got what we needed out of him.
Dude, what about I liked that final battle. It was still like there were still like 5 issues left, but that final battle against the scientists with the
Mother Forge
mold. Mother mold.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Forge, I loved that scene. Oh, wait, actually, hold on. I'm remembering a whole bunch of shit. 2 things I really liked. One, when Xavier goes to Forge and asks him to build pretty much the database of mutant people, you know? and the multiple backups. I thought that was sick. And then, dude, I loved when he goes to Namor, and Namor asks him. He says, "Come back here when you mean it, little man."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Damn!" Like, dude, Namor is a beast. And every time they show Namor, he just like is always like, "Fuck you" to everyone.
Yep.
Dude, I like Namor a lot. There was a period of time when he was like a part of the X-Men.
Yep, a big part. Yeah,
and it was really cool.
Nice.
Like, I don't know if it's still the case, but they would always say Namor was the first mutant.
But I think that's Apocalypse.
Or one of the first mutant. Yeah, it's definitely Apocalypse. But then for a while, they'd be like, "Oh, Namor is like I guess he's a mutant." So
he is. He's a mutant of his race, of his Atlantean race. He's a mutant. Like his people don't have the winged feet. That's just like a him thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is he not a human that like mutated and then no? Because he hates.
No. I'm serious. Like even from like the 1960s beginning, he was just a mutant of his people. And he was Namor the Submariner.
Yeah.
And for some reason he could fly with little wings on his feet.
Yeah, I heard a rumor that Black Panther 2 is setting up. They're going to introduce Namor and set up like Namor's movie, basically how Civil War set up Black Panther's movie.
Who would you cast as Namor?
They cast him, so I don't I would want to say it's an unknown actor, but I don't know who it is.
Good job, Anthony.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do know that there's a rumor that Doctor Doom might have a cameo in the movie. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. This is only a rumor.
Black Panther?
Yep.
When is that coming out?
I don't know.
They've been having trouble filming it.
Because of Letitia Wright and her injury.
Yeah, she just came back though, so they're probably
or Letitia Wright and her politics.
Yeah, they probably forced her to get a vaccine, and so now she could make the movie. So they were like, "Do you not want millions of dollars?" Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Imagine not getting the vaccine and denying yourself millions of dollars.
Ice Cube already did that. He canceled a Sony movie because he didn't want to get the vaccine.
Who did?
Ice Cube.
Way to go, Ice Cube.
I don't know. I agree with that, but
I mean, if someone says
get political with the vaccines on the
how's that political? I'm saying if someone said, "Hey, you know, you're on this movie, but we need you vaccinated," and you said no, but
if she really didn't want to, then I don't know. Then take that L, I guess.
I'm saying she didn't take that L because she's back. That's what I'm saying. Like, who's going to say no to millions of dollars? Yeah, I heard that the other day. She's back on set.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see if she actually did get vaccinated, though. Because not necessarily.
I mean, I literally don't care if she did or didn't, but I just want I want Ryan Coogler to be able to make Black Panther 2 because he's had a lot of trouble with that.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's asking for him to be recasted, and Marvel's like, we're not going to recast Black Panther ever. And it's like, I think you should just recast him, honestly.
Yeah. I agree. I liked how in this book that Wakanda was one of the nations that didn't have to trade with Krakoa because they're just so good.
I like that too. That was cool.
Yeah.
It's not that they didn't want their help. They didn't need their help.
Yeah, Wakanda doesn't need nobody's help. They're a strong, independent nation.
Yep.
That shit was cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite X-Men?
Yeah. Mine was always Omega Red or Wolverine.
Nice.
Yeah. That was always my favorite.
I like Wolverine, X-23 Wolverine. She might be my favorite, and Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler is dope. Dude, he's always been dope. Age of Apocalypse Nightcrawler is one of my favorites, dude.
Yeah,
I also love Apocalypse. When I was a kid, I had it.
Yeah, dude. Apocalypse is one of my favorite comic book villains.
I had a few dope ass Apocalypse figures during like the whole 90s Fox X-Men comic, cartoon. And I had a lot of figures from that. So Apocalypse was one of them. He was always cool.
Dude, but one of my favorite.
What am I saying? Magneto's my favorite. I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
no, serious. Magneto's always been my favorite. He's Jewish and he's stupid powerful.
And I do like that he's on the path of being more of a it's hard to call him a hero straight up, but he's a good guy at least. Like he's not, he's still operating in the shadows and stuff. But
dude, he loves
I like that he's helping
brothers and sisters.
Yeah. I just like how that's how the character is. It's not just like, I am going to rule the world with magnets.
Dude, well, that's one thing I never liked in the movies is that they really limited his powers to like controlling metal. Whereas like in the comics, like he controls magnetism and like can manipulate and make magnetic, pole or what's it called, fields at will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always thought his stories were better when it's like the stories in this. Like, yes, we know Magneto's ridiculously powerful mutant, but like his cunning and like the way he planned shit out, and like I like that. It's like if Doctor Doom is like a very similar type of character, but like he's always just like, no, I am the best. You're a fool, Richards. Like, you can never see Doom and Mr. Fantastic teaming up in such a way that Magneto and Xavier are. It's like they never wanted to fight. It's always, this is what they always wanted. Like you said, they literally say that in the comic.
Facts, my dude.
Yeah, dude. Both of them were, dude. This was just a good comic to showcase everybody, like really putting mutant first, and really it showed everybody kind of like at their peak badassness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, when Magneto fights when motherfucking Apocalypse fucks up all the Nimrods, like Nimrod's like going through just wiping people out, and then Apocalypse is like, I got this.
Yeah.
And then he ends up ultimately losing, but he does some fucking damage.
Yeah. Well, that's why I love Apocalypse and some villains being on the team. It's just like, fuck, you got these guys now. Like even in the newer comics after this, like it plays more on this, but did you notice Gorgon is in it, one of Wolverine's villains?
I didn't.
Did you ever read the Enemy of the State storyline for Wolverine?
I did not.
What? You guys have never read that one?
No.
Oh, shit. He gets like mind controlled and starts fucking everybody up, like on S.H.I.E.L.D., like on a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. And like he just keeps going berserk. And like there's this guy Gorgon. And if Gorgon always wears like a blindfold, but if he looks at you, you're gonna turn to stone.
Oh shit.
That's crazy.
It's a really cool storyline. Oh man. It's older. It's like Mark Miller wrote it.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys should check that one out.
Dude, I'm always I love a good Wolverine tale. If it's done well. I like Wolverine when he's done really. I mean, that's a dumb thing to say, but
how many Joe Pesci's we giving it?
Oh, here we go. What do you say, Cody?
I'm gonna give it 5.25. I'm gonna just give it an even 5.
Nice. I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
Nice.
I was gonna give it a 5 also.
Nice.
I liked it a lot.
It's really good. It's good if you're in the mood for Memento starring the X-Men.
Yeah, it's not a very straightforward story in any sense of the word, but when it all comes together,
I think that's the only reason I gave it a 5 is because I'm like, all right. Like, I mean, I actually had no trouble. Like, while I had the same questions as Cody when I was reading it, it didn't really fuck with me that much. Like, I got it. Like, all right, this is just what's happening. I liked it. I liked Xavier finally having balls.
Balls. Also, him walking around with just that helmet. Look, he looked insane.
Yeah, he looked nuts.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be a terrifying person.
Yeah.
And he's so much more like suave, and I don't know.
He's way more assertive in this version of him.
Yeah, he is. At any point, or even after reading this, do you think that underneath that helmet it's not Professor Xavier? Did
do you
anything
know
make
something
you think otherwise?
We don't, and is that why?
No. It is him. But when I first read it, I really thought it could be that character I was mentioning earlier, Cassandra Nova. I thought it's possible it could be his sister, just because like you're saying, he's more assertive. He seems a bit darker. Like he's always got this dark streak in him. Don't get me wrong, but there's something about this Xavier that seems a bit more like he's willing to pull the trigger on something, which he does.
Yeah, I never got the sense that he was dark. I think like he just came around to like more of like Magneto's way of like, you can't negotiate. Like while he did negotiate and came up with the terms for the UN, he says they're non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like this is like a more like, I don't know. I think he's fine doing what's right for his people. I support it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Very Malcolm X of him.
What? Very Malcolm X of him?
Yeah, very Malcolm X of him.
Professor Malcolm X.
I mean, Moira calls herself Moira X.
Moira X, yep.
Because that's how many lives she had.
Yep. That's why it's powers of 10.
Well, it's also like that's what the X-Men are, like pretty much. It's like instead of like the mutant names are derived from like the Nation of Islam, while they would go by X, so as not to use their what's it called, like slave names, last names.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm high. I think you're on. I think I know what you're talking about.
What? I didn't say anything crazy. Like,
oh, I'm not saying that you said anything crazy. I'm just saying I'm high.
No, like they're based off of the civil rights movement. Charles is Martin Luther King. Magneto is Malcolm X. And the reason they use the X is like how the Nation of Islam used the letter X to use instead of their last name. Malcolm's last name was Little.
Yeah. So Charles Xavier, Cyclops instead of Scott.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is Cyclops Rosa Parks, is what you're saying?
Exactly. No, I'm just spitting straight facts at you guys.
No, I wasn't disagreeing. I was just high and like not struggling to follow what you were saying for a second.
I'm high too.
Dude, I'm melted. Oh, we also we kind of got distracted about who would be the banging. We forgot about all of that.
Who would be what?
Should we just wrap it up?
We talked about all that.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about the fan answers or anything.
Fuck them.
You heard it here first, Tommy. Fuck you.
Thanks for being a loyal audience, and go fuck yourselves.
Do you want?
Answers were on our Instagram. Wine.
Thanks for your engagement. Now eat shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Hell yeah!
Do you want to read some out? It's up
no, man. Honestly, we can just make a post and leave it on Instagram.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hell yeah!
We posted enough about it. Don't worry, they got the idea.
Yeah,
people, it's hard to bang X-Men.
It is. It is very hard to bang them.
And that's the lesson we learned from House of X, Powers of 10. I'm Anthony Iannaccio. And that's it. I'm Anthony Iannaccio.
I'm Jake F.H. And that's
me,
Cody. We'll see you guys next week with more fire.
X week.
Ooh,
X week. Nice. I like that.
That doesn't make any sense.
Hi, you're listening to Comics and Chronic, and I'm Jake F.H.
I'm Cody Cannon.
And I'm Anthony Iannaccio.
And you can tune in every Thursday to hear new episodes of Comics and Chronic.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Comics and Chronic. That's Comics, the letter N, Chronic.
We'll see you guys next week.
Woo!
Peace.